The Old Man and the Sea. Once upon a time, in a small fishing village by the sea, lived an old man named Santiago. He was a kind and wise man, known by everyone for his tales of the sea. Santiago had not caught any fish for 84 days, and people in the village thought he was unlucky. Despite his streak of bad luck, Santiago loved the sea. Every day he would go out on his small boat, hoping to catch a big fish. He had a young friend named Manolin who used to fish with him. But Manolin's parents believed Santiago was unlucky and told him to fish with other fishermen. However, Manolin still cared deeply for Santiago and would bring him food and talk about fishing. One morning, Santiago decided to go far out into the deep sea. He felt a strong tug on his fishing line, and he knew he had hooked a big fish. The fish was powerful and pulled Santiago's boat for hours. Santiago was tired, but he didn't give up. He talked to the fish, calling it his friend and worthy adversary. Finally, Santiago managed to bring the fish close to the boat. He was amazed by the fish's size and beauty. It was a magnificent marlin, the biggest Santiago had ever seen. Santiago knew he had to catch the fish, but he also respected its strength and spirit. Santiago struggled to reel in the fish. He was tired and hungry, but he held on. The fish pulled him farther out to sea, and Santiago's hands were cut and sore from holding the line. He wished Manolin was there to help him. After a long battle, Santiago managed to harpoon the fish and bring it alongside the boat. He was both triumphant and exhausted. He thanked the fish for the fight and apologized for having to kill it. Santiago tied the fish to the side of his boat and headed back toward the shore, feeling proud of his accomplishment. However, Santiago's journey back was not easy. Sharks caught the scent of the marlin's blood and began to circle the boat. Santiago fought them off with all his strength, killing many of them with his harpoon. But the sharks were persistent, and they managed to devour most of the marlin, leaving only its skeleton. Santiago reached the shore, tired and defeated. The villagers were amazed when they saw the giant skeleton of the fish and realized Santiago's incredible feat. Manolin was there too, and he promised to fish with Santiago again, despite what his parents said. The story of Santiago's battle with the fish spread throughout the village, and people respected him for his courage and determination. Santiago had shown that even in the face of challenges and setbacks, one could find strength within themselves. And so, Santiago's spirit remained unbroken, and he continued to go out to sea, knowing that every day brought new possibilities and adventures, no matter the outcome. The Old Man and the Sea taught everyone that true success is not just in the victory, but in the struggle, the effort, and the heart one puts into their endeavors. Lord of the Flies. Once upon a time, a group of boys found themselves stranded on a deserted island after their plane crashed. There were no adults with them, and they were all alone. The boys didn't know what to do, but they decided to work together and survive until they were rescued. Ralph, a tall and fair-haired boy, became the leader. He gathered the boys and explained that they needed rules and order to stay safe. They built a signal fire on top of the mountain, hoping a passing ship would see the smoke and rescue them. At first, everything seemed okay. The boys played on the beach, hunted for food, and kept the fire going. They even elected a chubby boy named Piggy as Ralph's advisor. But as time passed, things started to change. A group of boys led by Jack, a strong and fierce boy, became more interested in hunting than in being rescued. They painted their faces with clay and began to act like wild hunters. Jack didn't like Ralph's leadership and decided to form his own tribe. The boys slowly became divided between Ralph's group and Jack's hunters. They even started to believe in a creature they called the Beast, which they thought lived on the island. Fear spread among them, making them do things they normally wouldn't. One day, a ship passed by the island, but the boys missed their chance to be rescued because they were focused on hunting. Ralph was upset, and tensions between his group and Jack's group grew stronger. As the boys' behavior became more savage, they lost sight of their goal to be rescued. They stole Piggy's glasses, which they used to start fires, and this made it even harder for them to be saved. The rivalry between Ralph and Jack escalated, leading to conflicts and even violence. Simon, a quiet and thoughtful boy, discovered that the beast the boys feared was actually a dead parachutist who had landed on the island. He tried to tell the others, but in the darkness and chaos, they mistook him for the beast and tragically killed him. Ralph and Piggy confronted Jack's group, and in the midst of their argument, Roger, one of Jack's followers, pushed a boulder off a cliff, killing Piggy. Ralph managed to escape, but he was now truly alone, hunted by Jack and his tribe. Ralph found his way to the beach, where he stumbled upon a naval officer who had seen the smoke from the fire. The officer was shocked to see the boys' behavior and asked them what had happened. As the boys looked around at the destruction they had caused, they realized the darkness that had consumed them. In the end, the boys were rescued and taken away from the island. The story of their time on the island served as a reminder that without rules, order, and civilization, humans could descend into chaos and cruelty. And so, the boys learned a valuable lesson about the importance of working together, respecting one another, and maintaining a sense of morality even in the most challenging circumstances. To Kill a Mockingbird. In the town of Macomb, there lived a young girl named Scout Finch and her older brother Jem. They lived with their father, Atticus Finch, who was a lawyer. Macomb was a quiet and sleepy town, in the southern United States. Scout and Jem were curious children who loved to play and explore. They were also fascinated by their mysterious neighbor, Boo Radley. Boo rarely came out of his house, and people said he was strange and scary. Scout and Jem often wondered about Boo's life. Atticus was a kind and wise man. He taught Scout and Jem important values like empathy and respect. He often told them, "You never really understand a person until you consider things from his point of view." Atticus was assigned to defend a black man named Tom Robinson, who was accused of raping a white woman, Mayella Ewell. This case stirred up a lot of emotions in the town. Many people were prejudiced against Tom because of his race. Scout and Jem faced challenges at school due to their father's decision to defend Tom. Other children taunted them, and Scout even got into fights. But Atticus encouraged them to be strong and stand up for what was right. During the trial, Atticus presented strong evidence that Tom was innocent. However, the jury still found Tom guilty because of the racial prejudice in the town. This was a hard lesson for Scout and Jem to learn about the unfairness in the world. One Halloween night, Scout and Jem were walking home from a party when they were attacked by Bob Ewell, Mayella's father. Boo Radley, who had been watching out for them, came to their rescue. He fought off Bob and saved the children. Scout finally got a chance to see Boo up close. She realized he was not the scary figure people had made him out to be. Boo had been looking out for them all along, leaving them small gifts in a tree and mending Jem's pants. As the years went by, Scout grew up and looked back on the events of her childhood. She understood more about the complexities of the world, the importance of empathy, and the impact of prejudice. She realized that her father, Atticus, was a hero for standing up for justice and equality. The story of To Kill a Mockingbird taught Scout, Jem, and the readers about the power of empathy and the consequences of prejudice. It showed that people are not always as they seem, and that it's important to stand up for what's right, even in the face of adversity. And so, the lessons Scout learned in Maycomb stayed with her throughout her life, guiding her to be a compassionate and understanding person who valued the worth of every individual, just as her father had taught her. Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone. In a quiet village, there lived a young boy named Harry Potter. He lived with his mean Aunt Petunia, Uncle Vernon, and their son Dudley. Harry's life was not happy. He was treated poorly and made to do all the chores. On his 11th birthday, strange things started happening to Harry. Letters arrived for him, but his uncle and aunt kept them away. Mysterious things occurred, like when a glass disappeared and a snake obeyed Harry's command at the zoo. One day, a giant named Hagrid found Harry and told him that he was a wizard. Hagrid took Harry to Hogwarts School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, a magical place where Harry would learn about his true identity. At Hogwarts, Harry made friends like Ron Weasley and Hermione Granger. They learned about spells, potions, and magical creatures. Harry also discovered he was famous in the wizarding world because he had survived an attack from the dark wizard Voldemort when he was a baby. Harry and his friends learned about the Sorcerer's Stone, a magical object that could grant immortality. They suspected someone at Hogwarts wanted to steal it. Harry, Ron, and Hermione worked together to find out who was behind it and to protect the stone. As they investigated, they encountered challenges and puzzles. They faced a three-headed dog, a deadly plant, and a game of wizard's chess. With teamwork and clever thinking, they overcame each obstacle. In the end, they discovered that Professor Quirrell, who seemed timid, was trying to steal the Sorcerer's Stone for Voldemort. Quirrell had been serving Voldemort, who was trying to return to power. Harry faced Quirrell and the truth about his own connection to Voldemort. With the help of his mother's love, Harry managed to thwart Voldemort's plans. The Sorcerer's Stone was safe, and Voldemort's spirit was weakened. Harry returned to his normal life with his aunt and uncle, but he knew he belonged in the magical world. The first year at Hogwarts had been full of adventure and challenges for Harry. He had made friends, learned about magic, and faced the darkness that still existed in the world. But he was ready to continue his journey, knowing that he had the strength to face whatever came next. And so, Harry's time at Hogwarts had just begun. He looked forward to the future, knowing that he was no longer alone and that he had friends and a place where he truly belonged.